the Jewellery Business Academy, welcome to our open day. And this is for the intake for January 2026, which is going to be here before we know it. It's less than a month before we start, which is crazy to think of. But yeah, that's where we're at right now, as we all know. So what is the Jewellery Business Academy? It's a one-year group training and mentoring program for anyone looking to start or grow a jewellery business. And we have an incredible community inside the program. Some people have been doing business training with us for many years and have grown their business with us. Some people, this will be their first year joining. So it's really nice. One of the things that I love about it is we all learn from each other. So as well as having mentors and tuition and all these kind of things, it's very much a community and a peer program as well, because whilst it's great to learn from people who've been there before, it's also really important to have people at a similar level to you that you can talk with, understand the challenges, the struggles, but also the successes, and help each other out. This program is accredited. This is the first year that it is an accredited program. And I'll talk more a bit about that later. But most importantly for me, it's all about supporting you to grow a jewelry business. And that's our goal. So we want you to complete the program. We want you to get everything you can out of it. But it's not just about completing a program and saying, I did it. It's about applying the practical action to your jewelry business to increase your sales, to get more customers, to get more clarity, to work on the different areas that you want to. And we have people who are right at the beginning of their journey who haven't done anything yet, which is they are more than welcome. And we also have people who've been running a jewelry business for 20 years or more. So it's a really broad community inside the academy. So a big welcome to anyone who's not met me before. My name is Jess. I'm the founder of Jewellers Academy, and we have helped thousands of jewellers like you to start and build your own profitable jewelry businesses around your values. And I think something that is really important to me in the Business Academy is that you learn the tools and you learn the training and you understand how to do everything. But knowing how to do everything is not enough, because I'm sure there's many of us who think, well, I kind of know what I should be doing, but I'm just not doing it. It's not happening. And all of this kind of came about when I was teaching jewelry making to lots of people when I started the London Jewelry School way back many, many years ago. And people would say, well, how do we run a business? And I'd say, oh, it's fine. You just do this. And they would keep coming back. And I'd be like, why haven't they done it? I've told them what to do. And I started to realize, and it's the same for myself, like knowledge isn't the only thing that we need. We need encouragement. We need accountability. We need other people on our team, because all businesses, but a jewelry business we're talking about in this case, is a long journey. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in 1 year. I often share most jewelry businesses take 3 to 5 years to get established, and most fine jewelry businesses that can be closer to 7 to 10 years to be a full-time income doing everything. It can be quicker than that, and it can be slower than that. So you're going to need support along that journey. I know that I have needed it. I definitely see the difference that it makes. So I'm super passionate about these types of programs. So just a little bit about me before we get into the program. I started my jewelry business a long time ago, but I had no experience in jewelry making at all, which I think surprises some people. They think, well, surely you became a jeweler first. No, I decided I was going to run a jewelry business before I could make jewelry. So one of the things I had to do was learn how to make jewelry. And I very much learned something quick and easy and then started putting it out there, and then learned a bit more and started putting that out there. And something that I encourage with all the students in the Business Academy is not to wait until you're good enough at jewelry making to build your business. Now, some of you here may be incredible jewelers, and some of you may have just started recently, but whatever level you're at with your technical making, business is a different skill, and it's something that we want to start working on and practicing right away. So however long you've been making, we want to get the businesses up and running as soon as we can. I also had no experience in business. And I went to lots of training. I went to lots of courses like the programs that we run here. So the other thing I quite like to share is that sometimes we're a bit hard on ourselves and we think, well, okay, jewelry making, I need to go to a lesson to learn that. But business, I should just know how to do that. But nobody knows how to do it until they've been guided and supported and encouraged. So yeah, I think we need to kind of have that awareness that business is a skill and it's something we can learn. And if there's areas we don't know about, like a lot of people come and say, I'm not good at the marketing, or I'm not good at the finance, or my pricing is really tricky. The good news is you can learn to do all these things. There are strategies and kind of templates that you can follow. And whilst it's challenging and it takes time, it's not that hard. It is kind of a little bit of a formula, and everyone will find their own unique way as well. So I was lucky to run lots of different types of jewelry businesses. I made and sold jewelry in shops and galleries, and then went on to have a fingerprint jewelry business, like personalized kind of jewelry. Then went on to run the London Jewelry School and a jewelry tools supply company. So I kind of bring lots of different experience to the program in different areas. And I also know that there's just no one way to get to the goals that you want to get to. So we're going to work with your knowledge, your experience, your skills, bring it together with the program and create some beautiful businesses. But yeah, through that time, I've learned what is possible, and anything is possible in time and perseverance in terms of business, and certain things that work and certain things that don't. And my key goal is to help you find your own journey and your own path to growth, because I know that you have it in there already, and it's just about getting that additional support to move it forward, to bring it out, and to make sure that you can stay the course. Because I've seen lots of jewelers who are very talented start these incredible businesses, and then somewhere along the way they kind of just lose their way. And I don't want that to happen to anyone. I think that if you choose not to do it, that's fine, but it should never be something where we're giving up because we just can't figure it out, because there's always solutions and we can work on them together. So I would love to know a little bit about you. Feel free to share. What are your jewelry business goals? And I've got an A, B, C, D to make it really easy for you. But I'd just like to get a little bit of a sense of where people are at. So A, put an A in the chat if you would like to make and sell enough jewelry for a sustainable side hustle. Don't love that word, but you know what I mean. You know, kind of just a little bit on the side. B, to make jewelry your full-time job that supports you. C is to create a well-known jewelry business with a following and a small team. So that's kind of like a bit of a bigger goal. Or D, world domination through the medium of jewelry making. I definitely started at D, and I've kind of reduced it over time. I've realized I don't need that. But you know, it was a fun place to start. So we have Susie is a C, Kim is a B. There's lots of B's and C's. I love it. Donna is a C, Mel is a B, Safa is a B, Tasia is a B, Sammy, start a business, then A, then the dream is B. I love that. And it's fine to have kind of stages where you think, okay, well, this is the end goal that I would love, but I'm also happy to kind of work towards this for now. Helen is a B. Wouldn't mind a C. Okay, I love that. So we've got a whole mixture. And, you know, it doesn't matter which one of these you're going for. The techniques and the strategies are very similar and very much the same. And within the Business Academy, when we do the training, we have a start a jewelry business track and a grow a jewelry business track, which is also an update for this year. And we kind of highlight the elements of the program that are about growth, if you're really looking to kind of build things further, and the elements that are about getting everything up and running, kind of the start, the first couple of years. So you'll have access to it all, but you can select which areas you kind of want to focus on. And I think, yeah, there's a lot of B's and C's, and it's a bit of a continuum, isn't it? Because sometimes we start with one thing in mind, and then once we get going, we're like, actually, I do really want to go for this. Or maybe we, like me, I wanted the world domination. And then I was like, actually, I'm just happy to teach people and encourage people and just be part of it every day. So it's also allowed to change. But whatever your goals are, we'll be working on them together, and crucially, without burnout, because it would be easy to guide you how to just build a business quickly and destroy yourself in the process. But this is about building a sustainable business, which means you're going to be looking after yourself, because the most important part of your business is always going to be you. And this is one of the biggest lessons that I've learned, and that I think we all need to learn in our life journey, but also in our business journey, is how to do these things whilst looking after ourselves, how to take the breaks, how to have the time to become inspired, how to deal with the challenges that come up. And you don't need to work, every hour in the day to be able to have a thriving jewelry business. We do need to work, and we need to work towards a strategy, but it doesn't need to be perfect. And also really important, not compromising on your values. So you'll all have a set of values, whether you're aware of them or not, of how you want to work. And it might be ethical based things around materials, around supplies. It might be to do with your work-life balance. It might be to do with your design that you're not willing to compromise on. It might be to do with your pricing, your customers. There's all different kind of values that we have. And my experience is, when you build a business based around your values, people with similar values are drawn to you. And that makes it such an enjoyable experience, because you have great customers, people who love what you love. And the energy in your business is so much more enjoyable. And I always say that people buy from your energy. And I really believe that, if you're in a good place, if you feel good about your business, if you're working in line with your own values, other people are drawn to that, and they think, wow, I love the energy here. I want to be part of this. Yes, I want that jewelry. I've seen many jewelers who are incredible technical jewelers, but not necessarily thriving jewelry business owners. So that's something we're going to be working on together. All righty. And yeah, finally, I just feel like, it's important to mention that you don't need a guru or someone to tell you what to do. So I very much believe that you know so much already about your jewelry business, about what you want. You've had all your life experiences to date, which are going to feed into this. But we do need some guidance, some industry specific knowledge. Jewelry is a very specific industry with certain, legislation, information, metal prices, all these kind of things to take into consideration, and a strategy so that you feel focused and like you know what to do next, because it can be very overwhelming, especially at the early stages or the growth stages. It can feel like, how am I meant to do all of this in one go? And the community and support that we've kind of talked about for those challenging times, or times when you feel like, is this really for me? Every jewelry business owner will go through a stage of saying, should I even be doing this? What am I doing? What's wrong with me? So having that kind of sounding board of people being like, it's okay, it's just a wobble, we're gonna pull through it together. And I believe, and I've seen many times over from the work that I do, that when you're in that environment of support, encouragement, and knowledge and information, you will naturally grow. So you don't even need to worry about it. You just show up, you take the action, and it's going to happen. And taking that pressure off is just a great kind of attitude to have as we go into a year of growth in our jewelry businesses. So in the session today, I'm going to cover a bit about what the Jewellery Business Academy is, the level of support that you can expect. We're going to run through quickly the monthly themes, because it works around monthly themes. I'll also talk a bit about the mentoring, and if anyone has any questions throughout the session, I'll be happy to answer those too. Feel free to put questions in the chat at any time. Also, Kerry is with me here on tech support. Kerry is one of the team at Jewellery Academy who have been helping with the Business Academy for ever since it began. So if you have questions, Kerry may answer as well. So, what is the Jewellery Business Academy? It is a 1 year program. We start in January, as early as we possibly can, and finish in December. So, it takes you through the full 12 months of the year. And each month we work on a different theme. So, when you're building a jewelry business, whatever stage you're at, there are key themes that we all need to work on every year. Things like marketing, Instagram, finance, product strategy, customers, email marketing, all these kind of things, websites, they don't ever end. So whether you've been doing it 1 year or 10 years, you're still going to be working on these. You'll just be working at a slightly different level, or be adding more layers to your business, more layers of complexity, or maybe even simplicity, depending on where you're at. So we all work through together a theme every month. And the great thing is it gives us a whole month to work on something, whereas usually in our businesses we're just rushing from one thing to the next, or we feel like we should be doing everything and get stuck and don't really do anything, or it's a bit scatterbrain approach. So I really love this approach of having a whole 30 days, a whole month to work on one area. It means we can keep chipping away at it and make some real progress every year. And even if you're not doing the Business Academy, I recommend working this way in your business if you can, to dedicate a month to working on each area as much as you can. Sammy's like, scatterbrain. It's okay. You're in a safe space, Sammy. We're all creatives here, so I'm sure you're not the only one. I know that I'm definitely like that as well. We recommend a minimum of a 2 hour a week time commitment. It can go upwards from there. Some people can do 3 hours or 4 hours. It's really up to you. It's not like our diploma programs. It's not quite as intense as those. They are 1 day a week. This is more kind of, as long as you're chipping away at it, then you're going to be doing what you can. And also we want you to put the work into your business. So spend a few hours each week working through the program, working through the content, working on your jewelry business growth plan, which I'll talk about in a little bit, but then implementing it into your business right away. There's also one-to-one jewelry business mentoring, which I'll talk about as well, and group mentoring calls. So you're really not alone. You're really part of something. You'll have individual support. You'll be part of a group. You'll have training. And it's an incredible program, which the jewelers get so much out of. So let's take a look at the monthly theme. So these are the topics that we work through each month, and these are the areas that every jewelry business needs to look at some point or other to survive and then thrive. Start with survive, and then we go through to thrive. So January is a lovely month because it is a fresh start. It's the start of a new year. Usually jewelers are quite busy around this time of year, especially if they've been up and running for a while, making, selling, shipping, all of that. January tends to be a little bit of a quieter time, and it's a great time for mapping out the year ahead. So in January, we look at vision setting. So vision is around having an idea for your business. It comes back to that values piece I was talking about, but is kind of, what do we want for the year ahead? And it doesn't matter if we get it or if we have a perfect vision or if we don't, but it's about setting those intentions, setting out a kind of goal of what we want. Because if we don't have that, it's really hard to focus on the areas that we need in order to achieve it. And we're looking at planning in this month as well. So we have lots of great tools that you can use. One of my favorites is a year in a nutshell, where we divide a page into 4 quarters, the 4 quarters of the year, and we set 1 to 3 goals for each quarter. And what's really nice about that is many of us will say, well, I'm going to do 10 things this month. And we say, no, we're going to do 3 things in the next 3 months. So really kind of stripping it back so that you can actually achieve more, because overloading ourselves is not helpful in terms of growth. So it's a really fun start. We kind of get in there, get into the content. And for each of these months, there's pre-recorded videos. So we have a professional film crew that has filmed everything with myself and a whole team of jewelers and mentors. So I went around the country visiting other workshops and interviewing people and talking to people about these topics. So it's quite interactive. It's quite fun to watch. And there's some exercises for you to work through in your business. And you'll also be creating a document, which is kind of your physical takeaway from the course. You work on it a little bit each month. It's called a Jewelry Business Growth Plan, and it will become like a manual for how to run your jewelry business. So it's not a boring business plan, it's a fun one, and it's one that's made specifically for your business, how you want it. So you can make it creative, you can make it in your own style. But each month, I'll be asking you to put some things in there based on what we've been working on. So you'll build up this kind of booklet which has, okay, these are my visions, this is my plan, this is my branding, this is my, all these kind of areas that we're going to be working on. And it's a way to kind of solidify your learning and to put it into something that you can look back at time and time again. And I recommend at the end of the year getting it printed really nicely and making a little book out of it for yourself. So you have this kind of outcome, physical outcome from the course as well. I've done it for my business and it's always really inspiring for me to look at. And I like showing it to other people as well, even if they have no real interest. Like, have a look, just showing what I've been up to. Okay, so that's February. So we kick off with the planning, the vision setting. February's a really fun month, especially because it's quite dark here in the UK. I love getting the colours out and getting a bit creative. So this is the branding month. So we look at creating a business around your values that we talked about, but there's different areas of branding. There's the visual side, there's your colours, there's your typography, there's your logos, all that kind of stuff, how you're going to do your social posts, what your website might look like, if you're going to have printed materials, your packaging, all of that kind of falls under branding. But also thinking about who your customers are, how you're going to talk to them, what kind of messaging is going to help. So this is a really nice way to either create a brand if you don't have one yet, or if you have one, it's a revisit and a relook at how am I using branding in my business? Is it working for me? Are there any updates I want to do? Is there any printed material I want to get? Or perhaps for my stalls and fairs, I want to look at how I'm going to do things differently next year. And this is a really nice entry because we kind of get almost immersed in our business again, the business side of the business, not just the making, but it's so related to the jewelry. And it starts us to think about our customers and the whole experience that people are going to have from when they first meet us to when they make a purchase from us, because it's really a journey for them as well. So we have a lot of fun with mood boarding and logos and sharing. And yeah, it gets quite interactive at this point, which is great fun. Then we move on to March, which is all about the jewelry. So we've looked at some visions, we've looked at some branding, and then it's okay, what are we going to be selling? And we need to kind of drill down, what are we selling this year and what is our plan moving forward? So you might look at building a collection if you haven't already. If you already have a collection, it might be looking at a new collection. There's lots of different ways to make and sell jewelry. So you might do commission-based pieces where somebody comes to you and orders pieces from you that you make once they've ordered them. You might be doing one-of-a-kind pieces. You might say that actually you're making your first collection of pieces and we'll support you around that. Or it might be that you've made pieces, but actually you want to move in a different direction. So we're looking at the jewelry, we're looking at the product strategy, we're looking at your signature style. So something that I recommend jewelers work towards, and we'll all do this naturally anyway, is developing a signature style, which is, in an ideal world, I might be scrolling on Instagram and I see your piece and I know instantly without even seeing your name that it's yours, because and we all know those jewelers where we can just recognize straight away, we're like, oh, that's a so-and-so's piece. And that's where we kind of all want to get to. And that comes over time. It's not an overnight thing either, but figuring out how we can take our pieces, if we're near the beginning of the journey, from making things that perhaps our teacher made when we're learning, we're following a program and we're making those pieces, to making our own unique designs that really work for us. And there's so much in this month. There's stuff about copyright, there's design elements, but really thinking about your jewelry and if it's working for you in your business and how you want to take that forwards. Are you a silversmith? Are you a fine jeweler? Are you something entirely different? So we have a lot of fun with working through that month. Then we move through to April, which is all about photography and videography. So it's not enough to be just jewelers anymore. We also need to be professional photographers and videographers. Not quite, but it is super useful to learn how to take great photos of your jewelry. We have some incredible courses inside the program taught by Karen Young, who is our jewelry photographer, and she's an incredible jewelry photographer. She's also a jeweler, so she really understands kind of the full spectrum of what is expected from jewelers. So there's lots of information on how to take great photos. We also look at videos. It's now more important than ever that we have videos for using on Instagram, like Reels. That's the main platform that most jewelers use, but it could be Facebook, TikTok, wherever. It's really important for getting out there, building relationships with potential customers, and just showcasing your brand. Even on websites nowadays, it's becoming more and more important to show videos of your jewelry. And the great thing is they don't have to be super professional. So actually, we've moved away a bit in the trends in terms of like business marketing from everything needing to be super polished and professional to people actually liking to see it a little bit rough and rugged, and knowing that it's not AI and all these things, a bit more authentic. So it's definitely achievable for us, but we're going to be working on how we can get good lighting, how we can work on videos, photos, and creating content, because in later months we're going to need those to be able to sell our pieces. May is where we start the big task of looking at marketing for your jewelry business. We look at the overview of marketing for your jewelry business, but we also look at specifically Instagram for jewelers, because it's one of the key ways that we market a jewelry business. So the general strategy that I teach is to keep your marketing really simple so that it is achievable, but to do our best to stay consistent with it. And I know that, consistency looks different for everyone. For some people, that's posting daily. For some people, that's a few times a week. For some people, that's a monthly newsletter. So there's all different ways and shapes that you can do it. But we're going to cover the whole marketing plan. You're going to be working on one. You're going to put it inside your jewelry business growth plan. And the great thing is, once you've done a marketing plan for your jewelry business for, say, a year, 6 months or a year, you sort of just do it again the next year. So if you look at the key themes like Christmas, Valentine's Day, summer fairs, whatever it is that your business has as a flow to it, it's going to be roughly the same the next year. So you can edit it, you can make some changes. So it's a lot of work at the beginning, but you can rinse and repeat quite a lot. You will edit things and change things, but it's very much a chipping away at things rather than finding a secret to how it all works. And we work together on all these different kind of areas. So that brings us into June, which is all about websites, and the order of things isn't random. So these are the order of things that we want to work through every year, really. So to look at our products towards the beginning of the year, to look at photography and getting information about that as we're going through, because we're going to need them later on, to make sure our website is really up and running and updated well before the kind of Christmas sales season. So in June, we look at websites that sell. And this is one of the months where the different tracks are really separated. So we look at, for those of you that are new, how to get a website up and running, building a website, what that looks like, different platforms, and lots of information for creating a website. And those of you that have done that and have a functioning website, it's looking at how can we get more sales on there. So looking at things like your SEO, which stands for search engine optimization, and it's about how people can find you online. And there's lots of tools and techniques that you can use. But with everything we teach, I expect that someone doing the program is a one-person business most of the time, and there's limited hours in the day. And what's really unique about jewelers or handmade businesses is you are making the product that you're selling and you're running the business. So where most businesses, you're not making the product, you buy it in and you're selling it, the business is selling it. So that's your job, is to sell. Whereas for us, our job covers so much more, because it's not even just the making, it's the ordering, it's the designing. And that's what we love about it, right? It's so varied and it's creative, and we won't want to lose that. But it does mean that every hour we spend doing things on our business has to work for us, because we don't have that many hours to sort of waste on these things, which is fine. We can do that and it works. But it's important to look at, okay, if we're looking at SEO, what are the main things we need to do? We don't need to know everything about it. It's a huge topic, but the key areas that are going to make a difference for a handmade jewelry business. And adding different elements to your website. There's always, a website is never done. There's always updates to do and changes to make and ways to make it even better. So that's always an exciting time. And it's great to just see everyone's websites kind of unfolding. And those of you that are new, we often set a deadline together for like, right, when's it going live? When's it going to happen? So the accountability kind of comes in there as well. July is all about the money, a very important month. So this is all about pricing your jewelry for profit. So we'll look at your pricing, we'll look at where it's at. Are there any adaptations or changes that need to be made? But there's also a huge section in this month about money mindset. There's a brilliant money mindset course, which goes into quite a lot of detail. And the reason why we do this is because it is one thing to know what we should be charging or what we need to charge in order to build a profitable jewelry business. But it's so hard when someone says, oh, I want it, but it's too expensive, to really believe, to really stick by our guns and know that what we're doing is the right thing, and trust that our customers will come at the right time. And a lot of this comes around money mindset, and particularly if you've come from, we talk a lot about our backgrounds, and there's a strong kind of belief that our money mindset is set by age 7, our initial one. So whatever messages we got before we were 7 are the ones that are kind of just naturally there. It doesn't mean that we can't change them, edit them as we become aware of them. But when you think about what messages you got from people around you, it might be things like money doesn't grow on trees, or we can't afford that. These kind of things can set up a belief that we're not even aware of, which prevents us from building the profit into the business that we want. And particularly with women, it's cultural, it's social, it's historical. So there is some work to do around lifting those and reminding ourselves that actually, I did a post about this recently, there's billions of pounds are spent on buying jewelry every year. Billions. So and the piece of the pie that you need in order to have a successful jewelry business is so small. You don't even need like a 0.5% of that. It's so small that there is ample room for you, and there is ample space to grow a profitable jewelry business for everyone here, for everyone in the community, for everyone who wants to. And when you can really believe that and feel that and know that, selling becomes so much easier, because it's inevitable. It's going to happen. It might take time, but it's just coming. And running a business becomes so much easier and more enjoyable. So that's a month that I'm also quite passionate about, because I think it can be quite life-changing, not just for your business, but for how we think about things and how we enjoy things. August is the first quiet month. So we have 2 quiet months of the year, August and December. These are intentional because many people are away in August, and we like to give people a bit of a break. So there is still content, there is still things to do, but it's lighter. And we call it the Business Matters month. And basically we've just shoved everything in there that didn't fit into any other month. So it's things like looking at insurance, looking at registering your business and how and when you need to do that. There's lots of like bits and pieces, but it's the kind of month where you'll look through and you'll see, yes, I need that. No, I don't need that. So it's a lot of information, a lot of guides. It's a great resource to come back to, and you can download them all as well. There's some videos in there, there's some fun bits, but mostly we want to give people a bit of a break in August, because it's good to have a holiday as well. So not too much to do in that one. And then we come back with a bang in September with email marketing, which may not sound that exciting or big, but it really is both exciting and big. And I'll tell you why. Email marketing is the number one way that you can sell your jewelry online. It is very effective. And whilst most jewelers put it off because it sounds kind of boring and it's, got to make a list and then get people to join the list, and it all just feels a bit like, is it really necessary? Yes, it really is. So social media can be more fun because it's instant interaction. But people are not usually buying straight away from social media. It's a bit more, we often say it's like the waiting room. It's like a place to hang out and talk, but a lot of people are just sort of hanging out. They're not necessarily buying. Whereas if somebody is signed up to your email list, they have a clear intention to have a long-term relationship with you. And if you're emailing them regularly, they're going to be building a connection. And you can put links in emails and you can do offers and all sorts of things. And the stats kind of speak for themselves that this is the number one way that people make these sorts of purchases, particularly if you're selling collections and pieces like that that are easy to buy online. But even those of you that are looking to do fine jewelry and commissions, it's a great way to set up a consultation, to show what you're doing for someone else, that kind of FOMO element of like, oh my gosh, I want a piece like that. It's a more intimate interaction than on social media. So that's why we dedicate a whole month to it, because it's so important. And we do things like set up a welcome email sequence together, which is when somebody joins your list, they automatically get sent a welcome email, and you can set it up so a couple of days later they get another one, and maybe a week or 10 days later they get another one, so that they're introduced to your brand gradually or to yourself. And there's all sorts of things we do, and we work on a 12-month marketing plan together so that you know what you're doing and it can be manageable, and it can be fun emailing people and getting emails back. One of the most rewarding things when you send out an email and someone buys something, you're like, oh my gosh, that happened. And I didn't have to go and set up a big craft fair anywhere. I could just literally push a few buttons. So it's a great way when we get it working for us. October is really getting into the Christmas sale season. So you guys will remember October wasn't that long ago. And those of you running jewelry businesses, it's a busy time. It's kind of the start of a busy time. Everything's kind of brewing. And yeah, if it's going to be your first Christmas next year in your jewelry business, and we get to work on that together, which is really exciting. But those of you that have been doing it for many years, you'll already know kind of how it is, but we try and work on making it less overwhelming and more profitable. So launching in your jewelry business. So launching is a little bit like doing a marketing campaign. It's a period of time, usually a couple of weeks, where you put something out. So you might say, this is my new collection, or it might be that it's an old collection, but you're kind of re-putting it out there and you're doing a special offer, or there's something going on. So it's building a buzz around your business. And you'll have seen, if you follow jewelers online, you'll see people do this all the time, where they build up to it, they kind of share some information, share what's going on behind the scenes, and then it's like, launch date is on this date. And then people go, oh my gosh, let me see all the pieces, great, and go off and buy them. And some jewelers who've built up a strong following and have been doing this for a while sell out in their launches. Their jewelry just sells out straight away. Different businesses have different models. It's not, it's a key strategy for some, and for others, it's more a tool. But we talk in the Jewellery Business Academy about something which we call revenue generating activities, which are activities that you do in your business, and the sole aim of them is to bring money into the business. So rather than just putting our jewelry up on a website or going to an event and just saying, well, I hope someone buys it, which can feel quite unempowering and a little bit scary because you don't know what's going to happen. It's saying, I'm going to do this campaign, or I'm going to put this strategy in place, and the sole aim of it is to bring income in. And sometimes it works really well, other times kind of well, and other times it doesn't work well at all. But whatever happens, we'll learn from it and then do it again and build on it until it becomes a successful kind of model for you. So in this month, we learn about launching, how to do a launch. It's a whole thing. It's great fun, and it's perfect time of year to be able to be launching things in your business. You've got your photographs, you've got your videos, you've got your collections, your pricing's all good, your website's all good, so it's just launching. November is really in the thick of it. So by November next year, you guys will be selling loads of jewelry. And so we'll be supporting you in the selling of your jewelry. And this is around the actual selling point, like the point where somebody is buying. So a lot of what we've been working on throughout the whole year is more about marketing, building a relationship, showing people your jewelry, getting out there. But this is when someone says, okay, yes, I want to buy it. What do we do at that point? How can we be really successful with that? How can we support them in their journey and also after that they've made a purchase, whether it's online or offline? So we kind of delve into sales and how to do it again without compromising on your values, because it needs to feel like you. It shouldn't feel like you've turned into this sleazy car salesman and now you're selling things. It needs to feel like I'm just talking with a maker and they've made all this incredible stuff and I really want to buy it from them. And making that a wonderful experience for both of you. So it's a win-win situation. Then last but not least, December, which is a quiet month because again, it's kind of coming to the end of the year. Jewelers are often very busy this time. There's Christmas, there's all the things. But we're kind of delving in a little bit more to understanding and attracting customers for your jewelry business. So we'll have touched on this throughout the course of the year, but we go in a bit more depth. And we're also looking at building for a profitable future and what we can do going forwards and how we can make the next year even better than the one we just had. So that is what you can expect as a rough overview of the 12 months. And then we do it again. We go back to January. And this is, this is life as a jeweler. But each year it's different. Each year are unfolding new things. So the other thing I would say for anyone joining the program is don't feel that you need to complete it all in one go. It's not about completing everything. It's about implementing things so that your business grows, because that is the goal. So, like I mentioned, the monthly themes focus on the practical action you can take to grow your jewelry business. And they're all professionally filmed video lessons. There's some masterclasses in there as well. We have a live masterclass each month, usually with myself and someone else, but sometimes we mix it up. So as well as the pre-recorded content, there's kind of live stuff and you can ask questions and get support. And they're a really nice space for the community to come together. I like to chat to people on those about how they're getting on, what's working well, what they're struggling with, because we can all learn from each other in that way. There's, as well as kind of professionally filmed videos, there's on-screen guided support. So if we've created, say, a spreadsheet for you guys or something like that, we'll walk through how to use it all. You can edit it all. You can always make your own if you're a spreadsheet kind of person. So there's lots of different options. We know that people learn and work in different ways. There's no right or wrong way to do it. So we'll give you lots of tools, we'll give you lots of options, and trust that you'll find the one that is best for you. There's also a PDF set of class notes, which you can download each month, and they're kind of like guidance that you can use throughout your program. Then there's the monthly calls. So the monthly calls are good fun. This is where we get together in small groups. So you'll be in a group of up to 20 people, and it will be the same people every month. And the idea behind this, because the Business Academy is quite big, you won't get to know everyone immediately, but in your smaller groups, you'll start to make friends and hopefully start to connect with each other, because these are the things that people say are the most valuable in the long run. And I think it's like that with any program, that you do. The connections that you make are just, incredible. So these are on Zoom. They're done in different time zones. So before the course starts, or as the course is starting, we'll send out a questionnaire to ask you what times of the week you can generally do, what days, and we'll do our best to match you to a time that works for you. And you'll meet together every month on that same time, and you will have 2 mentors in your group. So they'll be guiding you through, asking questions, and you'll get together in small breakout rooms. So we also learned that, you know, many jewelers are quite introverted, a little bit shy, and might not feel comfortable talking in front of 10 to 20 people, which is fair enough. So we put you in small breakout rooms within that group of about 4 to 5 people. So you'll go around, you know, we might say, what are your goals that you're looking at for this month? What's the main thing you want to get done? And we all go around. And it's a really nice structure. It's really supportive to people at different levels. And it just means that it works in terms of building that connection and community. So we really encourage you to come along to the monthly calls. They are a great way to feel part of something. So it's not just an online course, it is that kind of connection, networking, and learning in action. Then maybe possibly some people's favorite part of the course, and I can understand why, is you have a one-to-one with a jeweler on a topic of your choice. So we have a big team of jewelers at Jewellery Academy. I think there's over 50 jewelers that work with us now, which is incredible. And they are all specialists in different areas of jewelry and different jewelry businesses. So wherever you're at, and this usually comes about halfway through the course, so you've got a bit of time to work on things and figure out where you are and what you need help with, we will send out a questionnaire and ask you a few questions about what you're looking for. We will match you with someone who can help you. So if you say, well, actually, I don't know what I need to know, I'm just starting out, I just want support around that, we'll be able to match you for that. But you might say, actually, I'm really looking at getting into wholesale and I want to sell my work in shops and galleries and I want advice and guidance on that. So we will then match you with someone who is doing that, who can say, this is how I did it and this is what's working for me. So I do think this is incredibly valuable because of how tailored it is and specific it is. Again, you might be moving from making silver jewelry to a fine jewelry business and want to understand how to make that transition. And we can match you with someone who has done that and talks about how they did it and what might be useful for you. So that is incredibly valuable. And I think people just it's good to have that individual looking at your business. So it's great to learn everything, but then to have somebody look at your business and reflect on it and say, actually, this is what I think is going to help you, gives a real confidence boost and a real direction for people when they're building their businesses. There's also a dedicated Facebook group. So this is your kind of 24/7 access to the community. So if you have an event coming up and you just want to share with everyone, we do lots of prompts in there. We encourage people to share their wins, but also to share any challenges, to share things related to the topic of the month. So in the branding month, we want to see your branding, we want to see your logos, we want to see your mood boards. And it's just a really nice way, again, to be working on everything together. So I encourage you guys, if you join us, you know, the more you put into this, the more you'll get out of it for sure. And I love seeing what everyone's doing and getting up to. It's a fun part of my week to check in on the Facebook group. And there are mentors and jewelers in there who are there to help guide and support you as well. There's lots of things as we're running through. We also have a quarterly business check-in. So this is for the whole Jewellery Business Academy community, and it's on a Zoom call, a bit like this. So we all come on together and I walk you through a set of questions to look at where your business is at right now, what the next focus is. So we do a little bit of reflecting on the last quarter and we set ourselves up for the next quarter. And people absolutely love this. And I do this for my business every quarter. I check in and say, okay, last 90 days, what happened? What was successful? What was not so successful? What things do I want to keep doing? What things do I want to stop doing? So there's a kind of structure that we walk through together and we write down and we share. And yeah, we have a lot of fun in them as well. They're very practical, interactive sessions. So I mentioned before that this year we have start and growth tracks. So for some sessions, you'll select whether you're in the start track or a growth track. So a start track is generally the first like 2 to 3 years of business. A growth track is generally you're up and running, everything's going and you're looking to build on it. So you'll be put for some of the sessions in these tracks. So once a quarter, you'll get together with people in those tracks and you'll be able to just talk through your business, what you need, what's working for you, hear what's working for other people. So again, it's that kind of real peer support in those sessions too, because it's good to be with people on a similar stage of the journey, but it's also good to be with people who are at different stages. So we like to kind of mix it up. I mentioned the Jewellery Business Growth Plan. So this is something you'll be guided to work through each month. It's not a huge task, but it's a very practical task. And like I mentioned before, you'll be working to create this kind of document that will guide you as you move forward in your jewelry business. And I think it's something to feel really proud of at the end as well. You know, it's like something you've completed that is yours and that signifies where you're going. And you don't need to do one of these every year, but once you've done one, you might go in and tweak it and update it. Or every 2 or 3 years, you might come back and do another one. And they're very rewarding. They give so much more than you put in, because once you start writing things down and getting it all out on paper, even though we think we know in our heads, there's so much more clarity that comes with that. So just to talk a bit about the certification. So this program has been externally accredited with CPD. So on successful completion of the year and assessment, there's a few things we have to assess of your business growth plan. You'll be awarded the Accredited Jewelry Business Specialist Award, which is awesome. This is a new thing. So we're very excited about it. But I think, you know, it matters and it doesn't matter. It's a nice to have. And I think what it helps with on some level is if there's any of that kind of imposter syndrome of like, who am I to start this incredible jewelry business? Like, do I know what I'm doing? It's quite nice to have a certificate that says, actually, you officially do know what you're doing. I mean, you'll know it anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I think it's nice to have these things. I have a number of awards and certificates, and sometimes I think, well, you know, they're just pieces of paper. But sometimes I think, no, do you know what? They're not. They're symbols of where we've come. They're symbols of what we've learned and where we're at. And so that's why I think it is important to work through these things. And there are a few things that you need to do in order to get the accreditation. And we'll go through this more inside the program. But essentially, you need to access the course monthly. So we check through and make sure that everyone has been accessing the course every month. I think that's very achievable to log into the course at least once a month. Then join your mentoring group at least 8 out of the 10 live sessions. So of course, if you're ill or you have to miss 1 or 2, that's, you know, that can't be helped, but at least 8 out of the 10 sessions, to book and attend your one-to-one session, and to submit a completed jewelry business growth plan at the end of the year. So it's very achievable. If you want to get it, you definitely can and will, and we will support you with that. But it is just a nice additional thing to have. So we're coming to the end, but I would love to share with you some of the program tutors and mentors and a little bit about some of the people who have completed the program as well. So there's me. I am in a lot of the course. You will get to know me very well. There's quite a few people that I've met in person after they've done the course, and they're like, I feel like I know you because I've listened to you so much. And I'm like, well, you do know me, yes. But yeah, so you will hear my voice quite regularly throughout the program and the tuition, and I'll be on a lot of the live stuff as well. But there is a big team. So the other program tutors, so these are the people that are in the videos that I went to their workshops and their houses and interviewed them and spoke to them, and they are part of the course. Karen Young, who is incredible. She is an incredible lady. She used to be a marketing manager at Barclays Bank a long time ago, and she left her corporate job to start her own jewelry business. And she was hugely successful because she's incredible at marketing, branding, photography. She now runs a professional jewelry photography business, and I think everyone in Jewellery Academy wants to have their photos done by her. She's incredibly busy, but she shares a lot around the topics of photography, branding, marketing, and she'll be joining me on some of the live sessions as well. Then we have the wonderful Anna Campbell. If you guys have been around Jewellery Academy at all, you'll probably know Anna. She's one of the hosts on the podcast, and she's also the community manager here. Her specialisms, although I feel like she could help with every area, But her specialisms are around email marketing. So she covers a lot in that month, but also the mindset kind of piece and psychology. She was a psychology lecturer before she had her career in jewelry. And she's also great around strategy. She helps me a lot with strategy around my business. And she's just a wonderful person to bounce ideas off. And she's got a great energy. So she is going to be joining me for a lot of the program as well. Then we have the wonderful Kelly Twig. If you are on Instagram, you probably know Kelly Twig. She's built a great name for herself as a jeweler. She shares lots of tips, practical kind of jewelry making stuff. So she teaches the Instagram section for jewelers alongside me, and comes on some of the live sessions and really encouraging and supportive to other jewelers. She just wants to share her knowledge and help others to grow on Instagram as well. Then we have Ellen Horgan. So Ellen is a Bristol-based jeweler, and she's really built a really interesting business because she covers so many different areas. So she makes and sells pieces, mostly in wax, but she does a lot of wholesale. So she's used to working with shops and galleries. She does a lot of big events. She also talks a lot about design and the design process. So she brings lots of skills and experience to the team. Then there's Emma Renee. Emma had a previous career in branding, visual identity, kind of advertising. So she's brilliant at that kind of side of things and thinking about how to put everything together. Everything that she does just looks very beautiful. So it's always great to learn how that can be done from a professional kind of perspective. Then we have a team of mentors. There's actually 8 mentors that we have on the program. These are all professional jewelers running their own jewelry businesses who will be running the mentor session. So there'll usually be 2 of them on each session. So we have the wonderful Ian Sainsbury. He has his own fine jewelry business. Maroz, who is a jeweler, one of the head jewelry tutors at Jewellery Academy Brighton. She's been working in the trade a long time. She's a professional enameler, and just creates incredible pieces. Tori has her own shop and does workshops and runs her own business. Laura Jane, which her business is called Small Dog Silver, makes and sells jewelry and has done for a long time. We like to call her the tool queen because whatever she starts talking about, we'll end up talking about tools, which is always a bit of fun as well. But again, she teaches workshops and sells her pieces. We've got Karen and Emma, who I've already spoken about. Jess Croft at Homebird Jewelry, who also has started and is growing her own thriving business. She's done a Kickstarter campaign, and her business is all about colors and bright things and joy, and it's really nice to kind of see it in action. And Sally Howe, who has been on the team here for many years and runs her own jewelry business, How Fine Designs, and has made and sold in John Lewis, various different shops, and also sells from her own website. So yeah, they're just some of the team. So it's a big crew. And like I said, with the one-to-ones, there's a much bigger crew that you could potentially be matched with depending on what you need. So course fees as we come to the end. So the course is valued at £3,600, but we always want to make it as affordable as possible for jewelers who are starting out. So the price is under £1,000. It's £987 for the full 12 months. And there is a payment plan option of £99 a month for 10 months. So it doesn't really cost very much more. It's pretty much the same. So I always say, if you join this course, you should be making this amount in your jewelry business way before the course ends. Way before the course ends. That's the goal. So this should not be an expense. This should definitely be an investment. That's definitely how I would see it. I've signed up to many business programs in the past, and I've always set myself that challenge that whatever I spend on it, I need to make that back before the course ends. So you have a whole year to make £1,000, which is definitely achievable. Obviously, you need to make more than that in order for it to be profit, but that is achievable as well. So it's a great value for money program, and it's wonderful for me to see what the jewelers get out of it. And I always get these lovely messages from people saying, thank you, and my business has really taken off. And I often don't hear from them much again after that because they're just too busy, which is great. I love when people get to that stage where they're like, thank you, but I don't have time to do any more training. I'm just immersed in my full-time jewelry business. So that's where we want to get you. If that's your goal and you've got a different goal, we want to get you there. So you can sign up now. Like I said, we're starting very soon, just after Christmas in January. We will be sending out some emails between now and then to kind of get you started. I do recommend joining now rather than in January if you can, because it means we can kind of prep you. We do allow people to come in January, but it's a little bit more like, quick, get in, this is everything, can be a little bit more overwhelming. So the sooner you can join, the more kind of prepared we can get you. And yeah, Kerry has shared the link in the chat, so you can go ahead and sign up anytime. And we would just love to have you and work together. I just wanted to share about 2 people who've completed the program. There's hundreds of people have completed the program, and I wish I could share about them all, and they all so deserving and have done incredible things, but these are just 2 of my favorites. So Kim Stiles, you may know her. She was on All That Glitters, the TV show. She's absolutely lovely lady. She's an award-winning designer, and she does kind of lifelike botanical jewelry. You can see one of her pieces here. So she hand forges them all from silver and gold. And she came and joined us a couple of years ago because she knew how to make the jewelry, but wasn't that confident. How do I market myself? How do I get myself out there? And she's a really good example of someone who's just taken the program and just taken it on and just running with it. So she now does videos on her Instagram. She does stories, she's posting, she's doing lots of markets and events, she's selling her work. Her work is a lot of fine jewelry. It kind of crosses the bridge between fine and not fine. And what she said, I asked if I could share something from her about the course, and what she said was, I was floundering along on my own until I signed up for this business course. It's helped me to work systematically on my whole business and optimize every area. The support and accountability has been crucial. I have overhauled my website and have a greater understanding of business areas, especially marketing and planning. And do check her out, because she's a really cool lady and she's so lovely as well. But I think what's been nice that she's been able to get out of the course is she had the jewelry, but didn't feel confident with the marketing. And now she's off, she's doing it, and it's working for her. So just one example. The other is Liz. Now, I love Liz. So Liz Lloyd, she runs her own growing jewelry business. It's called Liz Lloyd Jewelry. She joined us 2 years ago, and she has an artistic background. So she was an artist before, and she made and sold her work in galleries. So jewelry making was kind of just a natural progression for her. But she has created a collection throughout the past couple of years, launched her website. She's got all the professional photography done. She's really lovely, been lovely in the community. And she wrote a lot, so I'm going to read it quickly. But she said, I've done 2 years of the Business Academy, and each time I've focused on a different area of my jewelry business. The course is designed for you to choose the areas you want to work on so you can really concentrate on the topics that suit your business, so there's no feeling of overwhelm. You can revisit the modules whenever you want, which means you can build your business year on year. Everything is so easy to understand and thorough, and the support from Jess and the team is amazing. The masterclasses and group sessions create a sense of community, and you never feel like you're doing this on your own. The course has been fundamental in building my business, and I would recommend it to everyone. See, she's so lovely. She's so lovely. But you can see some of her collections there. And I think it's just nice to see, where people have started and how they're really growing it. And, if we had more time, I could share many more, but I just wanted to give you a little flavor. So if you're here and you're serious about starting or growing a jewelry business, this program was designed exactly for you. That's what it's for. It's very specific, it's very tailored, and this is what we do. We love doing this stuff, so we're here for you. We're passionate about it. And for anyone who is joining us for January, I am excited because we get a whole year to work together. And Arlo's excited as well, my dog in the picture. He's always excited about life and everything. But yeah, it's just what I love about the Business Academy is we have a whole year to work together. So we used to do this program in 12 weeks and it was very much crammed in and it was fun, but everyone would just be overwhelmed. And then we'd just leave them for the rest of the year and it just didn't feel right. So it's a great luxury to have this time to kind of build a business together. And we also hope that many people will come back year on year. There's discounts to rejoin and all those kind of things because we love having you in the community. So that is everything, but I will have a look through and see if there are any questions because I think I might have missed some. Thank you guys so much for being here. I look forward to seeing some of you inside this program, but if not, do stick around. Jewellery Academy, we have loads of programs and things, so whatever you need, I'm sure we'll be able to help you at some point in your journey. So Mel says, do you think this is too soon to sign up when I've only just started the silver diploma this year and not managing to make a lot of pieces ready to sell yet? Good question. So we do normally recommend for most people to do a diploma first and then come and do this year after they've done a diploma. But it really depends on your situation. So that's, if you're perhaps working and also doing the diploma and managing, family and other things, if you feel like you've got time, if you feel like you've got a good few hours every week spare, and not hours that you need to be resting, but hours like working hours a week spare for whatever reason, maybe you're part-time or maybe you're not working at the moment and you're doing the diploma, then it is possible to do them alongside each other. But the diploma in silver jewelry is 7 hours a week, and this is a minimum of 2, but recommended sort of up to 3 to 4. So we just don't want to overload you, that's all. It's okay that you're not making loads of pieces to sell. I think it's more important that it just feels like it's a good experience and it's manageable for you. But we will be running this course in the future. So if you feel like on reflection that's too much to fit in one go, come back to it once you've done your diploma because there's always more to learn. Brilliant. Stacey says, I'm new to social media and have never had Instagram or Facebook accounts. Would there be support for people like me who are terrified of these? Yes, absolutely, Stacey. We will take you. This is where the start and growth tracks are very good because we will take you from the very beginning for anyone who needs that. And, we've all been there. I remember someone showing me how to set up Instagram the first time and I was like, oh, this is how you do it. But once you've got it, you'll be flying and all the rest of the content will be helpful. So yes, absolutely. Xiaomi says, are the meetings calls done outside business hours for those who are working full time? Yes, absolutely. We have, and as Kerry said, we have a mixture. So the calls are done at different times. So we have some evenings, some daytimes, we send out a questionnaire before the course starts and we check who can do what, but there will definitely be a mixture of times. And as Kerry said, we also do replays. So whilst we try and encourage you to make it to as many as possible, if you do need to miss one for whatever reason, you can always catch it up as well. Helen, I can see your hands up. Do you want to come and say hi and ask a question?
Hi. I was just wondering because I'm hoping to get my website up a little bit earlier than June, although it was on my to-do list for 2019, so I probably need some help. But I'm just thinking if I wanted to try and get it up before, will any of the resources be available, like terms and conditions, before June so that I could grab that if I wanted to?
So the content's released monthly, mostly so we don't overwhelm anyone. But if you need something, just ask for it, and I'm sure we'll be able to help with it. And I think what you could do is definitely get your website up and then come June, it will just be re-looking at things. But definitely for terms and conditions, we will give you a template. But what I'd recommend if you're just starting out is to look at someone like Etsy, because they've got all their terms and conditions done. They're really easy. You can copy and paste and just change your business name, and you've got a really nice template to work from. So if I was doing it, I would just do that. And you can always refine them and go back, but terms and conditions are quite standard across all sort of online jewelers, handmade businesses, and Etsy is a place where they've really worked on making it accessible for the customer to look at, but also accessible and working for the maker. So I would just check through to make sure there's anything that you don't totally disagree with, and then just I would copy and paste. But yes, if you need something when you start, just ask, and someone in the community will be able to help. We'll be able to find a resource or something. But we don't put it all out at the beginning, because I feel like everyone's brain might explode. So we try and work through. But don't wait. Definitely get your website up and running, because now is always the best time to do everything.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Helen. Yeah, thanks. Um, any other questions? Oh, I think there's some in here. I'm just double checking. From Kerry. Thank you. Kerry has very kindly put them in one area. Question from Pat. How much time I must invest per week on the course? So yes, this might have been asked before, we've kind of talked about it, but I'd say a minimum of 2 hours a week, but there is flexibility. So it's hard to say, because you want to watch the videos and then you want to do the work and implement it. So some topics you might want to go a bit deeper in. So some months you might be like, actually, I kind of got my branding, I'm kind of good on that, so I'll just have a quick revisit. But with my products, I need to really work on this. So it is up to you how much time you want to spend on it. But yeah, our minimum is 2 hours a week to get the most out of it. So thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you for listening. I hope it was helpful. I look forward to seeing some of you inside the program. And whatever happens, good luck with your jewelry businesses. Keep going. You are on the right path, and people need your jewelry. They just do. It makes the world a bit of a brighter place. So yeah, I will see you guys soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day and take care. Bye for now.